Come with us as we head to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I know, I thought, oh my gosh, we're gonna get attacked. Okay, my first thrift store in Minneapolis was a St. Vincent de Paul. I'd never seen a little flower frog like this with the wire, I don't know, clip, so it could clip on the top of a vase, I think. This was a old building. You can see they had lots of old cabinets that they used to put things in, and it was a very big and a deep building. I loved this little cradle. They actually put the rockers up and then it was stationary. I thought that was a great idea. Like this little hand mirror, although I didn't get it. Again, trying to be selective. I did think the prices were pretty good. Very typical or comparable to what I would see in Des Moines. I don't know, I loved this cross stitch for some reason. It kind of had some pillow cushioning in it. This is the back section with lots of furniture. Hey guys, it is Brooke with the Junk Parlor, and we are going around and hitting up some antique shops and thrift stores in Minneapolis, Minnesota today. So hubby is here for work, and I got to tag along, so I have the freedom to go do what I want during the day. So this morning, I made a little list of different places and kind of mapped them out. Yes, I probably should have done this before I even came on this trip, but oh well, it got done. Because, you know, thrift stores don't open till 10, 11. A lot of the shops around here seem to be at noon. So I tried to coordinate so I could hit things that were going to be open earlier. So this place was St. Vincent de Paul, which is one of my favorite places to go back in the Des Moines, Iowa area. This one was really cute. It's on like a downtown section. So just like I don't even know how you explain it, like a downtown building. It's not like freestanding. It's in with a row of shops. Hopefully I'm making sense. Anyway, the cash register worker, she just said that they were really slow this morning. She figured because of the weather. It's a very overcast. It's not supposed to rain today, but it did rain last night. Yesterday it rained on us on and off the whole way up here. We did stop at one place on the way up here. That was Hot Sam's, so I'll insert some video from that. But at the thrift store, I would say it was comparable to St. Vincent's in Iowa. I did walk away with 3 things, so let's check those things out because I have a little bit of time until the next place opens. So my first goodie I did share in the video is this cross stitch with the religious verse, for lack of a better term. I just liked the red flowers. I liked the coloring on it, so I grabbed that. I also grabbed this flower frog. It's just weird. I don't understand these metal like things. I've never had one like that. It was made here in Minnesota. It says Wedgin Flower Arranger. So can't go wrong with the flower frog. And then I loved the patina on this. I think it maybe is, it probably would have had fabric on the bottom maybe. Kind of looks pretty raw down there. And then a plate, what do you even call them? You pass them around at church, pledge, plate, I don't know, donation. but I love this bowl. You could use it for anything. I could use it as a cloche base. You could really flip it over, although I like this like more worn side better, but couldn't pass it up. This is cool. I'm guessing they make them. These are so soft, like a robe. This is literally the biggest Goodwill I've ever been in. So it's multiple floors, clothing is upstairs. I really liked this tree, but this was only the second place I had been, and so I didn't want to just like pick every little thing because I figured I'd run out of space and money. But they do not have a color sale on Mondays, and also when I was leaving, a guy was getting busted for trying to steal things. So I would like to thank Good Morning America, because watching that show, I learned what these feather things were. They're juju hats. I didn't remember the name. I had to look that up. But these are handmade hats that people wear if they're of that culture, but then people will hang them on the wall. If this wasn't yellow, I would keep it myself. It's yellow. There's nothing yellow in my house, so I'm probably going to sell it, but it is big, beautiful, and just super unique. On to the next place. Since Old Stuff was closed, I walked down to Practical Goods, which I had looked at that one online, but I'd crossed it off my list, I guess, of one not to go to. But since I was waiting because that place wasn't open, she had some cute stuff. Probably the things I was interested in were higher than I could get for resale. Very much an all natural place, and not because it's all natural, it had a smell to it. I got a freaking fly in the truck, but the place had a smell to it. So I was ready to get outside to some fresh air. When I was walking back to my truck, the guy here at Old Stuff was setting stuff out. I would say he sets a lot of stuff out because otherwise you cannot walk in the store. It's just a small, cute shop. Just nothing that was really like calling my name. And yes, I'm eating some Jimmy John's. So I went to Jimmy John's because I was needing to waste time, and I decided to come to this TurnStyle Consignment shop because the salvage place that I had next on my list, I still had like 30 minutes to blow. So now it is afternoon. I could have gone to the place that opened at noon, but we were right here, so we're gonna check out this place. course, the furniture was pricey, and they had a couple coffee tables that I liked. I did like those paintings as well. There's a little bit more than I wanted to spend, and maybe not quite the composition that I'm hoping for. I don't know. I'm here the next 2 days after this, so if I really want it, I can always try and come back. Furniture was really high, but the stuff wasn't. Like, I didn't film it, but there was an ironstone, a wash basin, and pitcher. And I think for the both pieces, they were selling them separate, but it was maybe $30 for the two. They were both stamped. I do believe that the stamp was old. I know they make newer reproductions, whatever, but they just didn't have the weight or the feel. I really liked the bowl, the way that it looked, but I left it. I don't really need it. Definitely a place to go if you are renovating a home. You need glass cut, mirror cut, lamp pieces. That was probably his specialty. He had the most lamps, lots of vents, the metal wall vents, floor vents, and actually seeing his lamp pieces, chandelier pieces, he just kind of had things hanging everywhere, but he had some that didn't have the shades on them. That would have been, some like came out in my Centerville house, which I'll share that Craftsman bungalow with you. But he basically had them hanging on the wall like art, and it looked really good. So if I find some cheap, I might do something like that on a wall. Cute sign for Time Bomb. So E's Emporium that we were just at was probably one of my favorite shops that I visited this trip. This drawer piece was by far my favorite piece that I'd seen, but the price was just way too high in my opinion, especially for me because I do this for a living, I see things a lot cheaper than that. I thought this little Lazy Susan canister set was cute. The dressing room get up that they had really decorated the walls, considering this one is Turquoise Vintage. Super cute. Lots of Pyrex, lots of Tupperware at this shop. This is another St. Vincent de Paul. This one was probably in a little bit sketchier neighborhood, but I could still see people had donated some good stuff. This cute little plant stand was calling my name, but it was a little rickety. You can see the leg has been glued back on at some point, so I left it. Okay, so I had about, 6 more shops mapped out for today, but I ran out of time. I also hit a lot of stops that weren't on my list, more just for coordinating time since everything kind of staggered their openings. And then I lucked out and a couple places were open by chance, just because they're dropping stuff off. And so I got to hit up some shops that I think maybe I had on my Wednesday list. So I hit Salvation Army and a second St. Vincent de Paul, and the reason being just because they were closer to my hotel and I didn't have as much time because I want to be back at the hotel when hubby's back at the hotel. So St. Vincent de Paul, the second one that I went to, was not as good as the first one. This is my first Salvation Army. I'm sitting outside of it right now. It's ginormous. It's the drop-off. It's rehabilitation, it's probably their offices, and then it turns out it's 2 different stores. So I ended up getting this little bamboo planter. I think that it is marked McCoy. I can't tell. I didn't move the sticker. I knew for $2 that I wanted to go ahead and get it. So when I was checking out, I just said, hey, I'm not from here. Or I said, do I need to pay for this upstairs? Or because they had bins in the basement. And she said, nope, we're 2 different stores. So upstairs is all the new stuff, which honestly, Brooke didn't even realize it was all new stuff. So there was old dishes and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so go down to the basement. It's bins, and then stuff is closed in the bins, and then stuff is along the perimeter. And I found that planter. So anyway, she said it's 2 different places, new stuff upstairs, old stuff downstairs. And so, yeah, it was a totally different experience. Day 2 I spent with my Instagram friend, Laura Bloomquist. Big pizza cutter, or what do we got going on here?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, deep dish. Have you guys been here before?
There are a couple restores in Minneapolis, and this one totally makes me think of where Andrew at Reissued shops in Des Moines. Restore does not have furniture like this. Day 3, hubby was getting out of his workshop around noon, so I had to try and stay close. So I mainly hit up some thrift stores that opened a little bit earlier, and then we went and had lunch at Wild Boar in Hopkins and hit up some of the shops in that community that I had planned on going to on Monday but had ran out of time. Here's what I came home with. I got a few ironstone pieces. Told hubby I might have to start collecting these little bud vases, I think they are. I just love the color. I think they'd look pretty lined up on your kitchen sink window. When you're out junking, you never know what you will find. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's questionable. This was a chunk of particle board, I think, that somebody turned into an art installation. And check out the cloudiness from the Canadian fires. This is down in Iowa on the way home. So hazy.